welcome to Facebook Live Tuesdays. Today, I will be talking about experiencing intelligent breakthroughs in your performance and life. And that's what's important for everyone who watches this to understand. I want people who want to experience intelligent breakthroughs so that they can go to the next level, the next stage of their success. This is not a group for people who want to be status quo or who want to maintain where they are. That's very important. So I want people who want to experience intelligent breakthroughs. Because as a private mental performance and life consultant and coach, that's where my value is. Today, I want to talk with you about all of those people in your life who are congruent so that you can experience intelligent performance breakthroughs. Because I'm not going to be the one that can help you experience intelligent performance breakthroughs if you need to have a surgery. I'm not a surgeon. Nor am I a psychologist. So if there is a personalities issue, some type of issue in that regard, or if you're trying to form a team and you need profiles done to know which players or which people to hire and select for your team and your business so that your performance and your life is better, that's not me. You need someone with a psychology background expertise to do that. However, because I have a strong skill set and I do help in lots of areas of life, I can refer you and point you to the right people because I've been doing this for years. However, if you want to experience intelligent performance breakthroughs, then I am the person, because I will help you with your mental performance breakthroughs, not only in what it is that you want to perform better in or what you want to experience those breakthroughs in or you want to improve in, but also in your life, because you just cannot disconnect the two. There's just no way. We might have tried in the past, and a lot of companies were set up in the past like that, but they're finding that employees don't like it. People in general don't like it. They don't like being in silos. And the companies that are able to address that are the companies that have more engagement, that are being more successful. In the past, people liked silos, but now with technology, with the amount of interaction we can do, and with the obligations that we're having in society, and with just plain globalization and our ability to actually have a say-so or voice into an issue, has made it to where we are more informed than ever. Now, the key is we have to dissect through what is true and what is not true and filter it, because there's always a context, there's content, and so it's very important. And I was on a call earlier today preparing, and I heard someone say, hey, I wrote a book, and you know what, the book can help you. But really, and you know, obviously he wants you to buy the book so it can help you, but really the real value is when you go and you actually partake in specific services to your private personal situation, because then the idiosyncrasies that are specific to your situation are addressed. And that's where, for example, my expertise or his expertise would come in to help you, to work with you. And that's where the real value is being able to look at your idiosyncrasies. And so that's very important for you to understand And so who are these people who are in your life who can help you with experiencing intelligent performance breakthroughs? Well, these people are varied. There are coaches. And this is something very important. You know, I've talked about support services and support system. What that means is if you have a particular situation and either you're preparing for it and you want to learn about it before you actually go and implement it from an expert, or you have a specific problem or need that you want to address so that something can be better in your performance or you can make a breakthrough, well, that's when you need a coach. And so a coach doesn't have to be necessarily only for very long-term reasons. Sure, my life coach I've had for quite some time, but a lot of the other coaches I've had, whether it's a speaking coach, whether it's myself having a performance coach, all types of coaches, I partake or I invest in their services on a support services as needed basis. And so as I prepare for something that's new to me and I need guidance so that I can learn and adapt it to my specific situation with their expertise, or I am trying to solve a problem, some pain that I have, some problem that I have. And so all I really need is for that problem to be solved. Now, from that, something else can blossom to where I might want to add some additional services. So that can come on an as-needed basis. And sometimes that's just a one-time thing. I can literally help almost anyone in 1 hour, once I know what their situation is, experience some type of improvement in their performance. Now, the thing that I can't do, you can't do, and anyone can't do is we can't guarantee the outcomes. If it was that easy, then everybody would be ultra successful because there's no uncertainty there. And obviously, you also have to put in the effort and the work to make it happen. So no one can really guarantee the outcomes. However, the outcomes can be much better than you could possibly ever imagine. Or if you or the other party doesn't put in the right work or effort, it might not go as far. And sometimes that does happen, but I respect people's work and I invest in them. And if I don't get the outcomes that I want, then I take a look and see how it can become better, both on my end and on their end, and try to go forward. Now, if that happens consistently, then obviously that's not the right service for me to invest in, and I look for someone else to invest in. So that's the key, is who are your coaches? Because you need to have those. If you're an owner, an executive, most likely you understand the value of coaching and why it's important. However, if you are a professional, an employee, and let's say you're not in the management ranks and you're being coached, let's say internally by the people inside your organization, that's great. That's better than nothing. However, there's just expertise that coaching inside an organization who aren't doing it for a living just do not have. They just do not have the expertise, and therefore you do not benefit as well. So if you need to invest in a coach outside of your work, it is well worth it. It really is, because they can handle issues and the environment is different than the environment at work. You know, at work, you can only say certain things because it's filtered, right, based on the environment. However, when you go to an external coach who is a third party, who is not, doesn't even know who your employer is as far as the people, then you get another avenue to really talk about your situation and be able to filter and get through in other unique ways. So I have a bunch of tools that can really help you in that area. Now, the other area is you have peers. No matter who your competitors are, I really don't look at my competitors as competitors. I really don't. I don't look at them as competition. I look at them as my peers. The reason being is that if I have a client who, for whatever reason, I don't feel that either they're working diligently enough, making the effort, or I'm not able to do what I want to do to help them to really experience an intelligent performance breakthrough, then I have people who I will refer them to, who some people would say, well, that's your competition. No, it's not. My number one goal, clear goal, is to make sure that you receive the best customer service so that you experience the best service so that you can get ahead, that you experience that intelligent breakthrough. So I am very pleased and happy to do that because that's important to me. That is the reason that I am in business. I am in business because I get totally invigorated by seeing my clients experience intelligent breakthroughs. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but it's not often, but sometimes it does. And I will help them, and I will even advise them that, look, we're not getting to where I believe we should get to. And here is a resource that might be better fit for you. And I'm glad to do that because I'm not here just to make a dollar. That is not the purpose that I'm in business. Yes, I want to be paid for my services, of course, because I've invested, because I'm delivering value. And as your show of respect for my work, then you pay a fee or you pay a price. And of course, the reason you're doing that is because you're receiving something of greater value to you on the other side of it. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. So that's very important. So that's how I look at peers and competition. In fact, I learn from my competition, if you want to call them that, but I call them peers. Imagine, I walk into associations, whether they're coaching associations, whether they're business associations, whether they're speaking associations, and everybody there is basically competition in some people's eyes, but to me, they're peers because we don't all do exactly the same thing. We really don't. Now, sure, some days there might be someone who says, okay, I'm going to pick 3 of you. Out of the 3, I'm going to pick 1. And sure enough, they're all 3 that are vying for this opportunity are right there in front of me at this association meeting. That happens sometimes. But as peers, we make each other stronger, actually. Now, we don't tell each other insider type of information. I mean, what our strategy is and things of that nature. But we do talk about other things that, hey, it worked for us, it might work for you, that type of stuff. But we all have our own unique approaches, different business models, different tools and techniques and skill sets and expertise. So we're all unique in that sense. The other area are your colleagues or your teammates. And that's the thing that I want you to really focus on because most people have never attended a session on what it means to be on a team, what teamwork means, or what even the concept of teammates is. Most people literally have not been there and experienced that kind of session. And I do those kind of sessions. I call them either team charter sessions or project sessions. It just really depends. I can name it based on whatever it is your need and want is and your clear goals are or objectives. And so that's very, very important. And the next is your family. No matter what, your family is essential to you. And so that and your friends, they're there for those macro reasons. And I talked about this on an earlier video. You can watch it where I talked about people and dreams. And they're mostly on a macro level, okay? Then you have school, if you're in school, or education, whatever it may be, or in training. You have that, okay? And then you have your work or your job. You know, what is your work or your job? You know, how's that look for you? What's it do for you? Is it aligned with your private, personal dreams, vision, mission, clear goals, and aspirations? Because there should be that alignment. And I talked about that in one of the videos earlier on the Facebook Live sessions. So you want to have that alignment, because if you don't, you won't have the fulfillment. It won't be something that you feel is congruent to what it is that you're doing at work or in your life. And that's not a great feeling. It's not really a good culture fit. The next is in your life in general. In your life in general, you want to be congruent in everything. And so what is the key? You know, I've been hearing so many things lately. And of course, we're seeing a lot of polarization and stuff. And people are saying, you know, it's relationships. It's relationships. Well, you know what? Almost every relationship you have, you basically didn't have that relationship. You had to create it. You had to build it. And you had to grow it into a meaningful relationship. So either you created it, you developed it, you built it, and you grow it, and it goes through those stages. Wherever it is in that stage, and it becomes a more and more meaningful relationship. That's what makes it exciting. That's what makes it trusting. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it enjoyable. That's what makes it fulfilling. So those relationships are important, but I tell you now, the number one skill is this. It's your communication skills. Why is it two people can walk into a room, meet with a buyer, one person gets through and gets a nice opportunity, and the other one is out right away? Why is that? Mostly it's because of communication skills, if everything else is the same. The expertise are similar, etc. It is communication skills. So to me, focus on your communication skills. And that really matters, especially based on the appropriateness of the environment. That is essential. So what are you doing to work on your communication skills? I used to think I was a good communicator. People told me that. And I do present myself well, especially in person. I really do. Doing these sessions on Facebook Live, early on when I was like testing this and preparing this, I didn't look that good on film. I didn't like it. But now I look good. I look pretty good. I like it. And it's more and more, it's becoming just realizing that, hey, I can use this medium in a lot better way. So I'm learning this. And as I was learning this, sure enough, I have a speech coach. And my speech coach, basically, the concept in my mind is, Raj, just act like you're on a platform or on a stage doing a speech. It's the same thing when you're sitting down in front of a computer and talking to technology. That was experiencing an intelligent breakthrough. It really was. And you know what? That one idea I had to nurture, develop, build, and grow, because it just doesn't come like that. So I had to put in the effort, the work to really understand it. And as I did that, my videos became better and better, and I was able to apply the learning. Because if you just learn and you don't apply the learning and you don't grow the learning by attributing your gifts, talents, and skills to it, then you will never separate yourself from the pack. You will not experience those intelligent performance breakthroughs that I've been talking about. So that's essential. So work on your communication skills, always. And just that one lesson, you could say, that I implemented, to me, that's worth hundreds of dollars. Because look at what I'm able to do now. Look at all the people I'm able to access. And that's not something that I invest in regularly, but I do invest in it when I need it, when it's something new to me, or when it's a problem where, for whatever reason, I'm stuck a little bit. And so that's the way that I approach it. Or I want to take it to even a higher level. Okay? Because, you know, talking in front of 4 people is a lot different than talking in front of 1,000. It's just a different dynamic. Is it pretty much the same? Yes, it is. But mental performance wise, it's not. They're different aspects and they're very subtle. But as you detail in on those and you realize what those uniqueness of those are, you're able to communicate and get your message through in a much better way, having a lot more substance for your client and the people in your audience. And so I also talked about that this session we would talk about video analysis. Now, sure enough, if you're on a team or you're an individual, whatever it is that you're doing, I know you can't video yourself, but you know what? Your mind and your brain is able to video yourself. Just look at yourself when you're working individually or when you're working as a team, and based on the environment around you, ask yourself, are you congruent? Do you have impeccable technique? People realize and notice that regardless of whether or not that's your job to have impeccable technique doing that. So for example, you may say, well, the reason, and you rationalize it in your mind, well, the reason that I'm not really using my physical energy or my body language energy is because, I just feel a little tired today, and I injured something, and you know what? I really empathize with you, and I am very compassionate, because that's not fun, because I had chronic pain for years, and until I found the right coach, I didn't know what to do with it. I really didn't, because the doctors couldn't really do anything either. They would tell me to stop playing sports and do things like that, and then it'd get better, but then it'd come back once I started. So it was getting the right coach and being able to really share what it is that I'm experiencing or challenged with or have a problem with. So the video analysis is just put the video on yourself in your mind. Are you showing impeccable technique when you're at your computer? When you're doing work, and you're doing one at a time, and you're checking them off completed as you go through. Are you going all the way through evaluating it, make sure that it's done correctly, and then checking it? And are you be able to do that and not skip around? These are all basic skills, but it's these basic skills done to high standards that really make it fulfilling and fun. It's not supposed to be too hard. It's only too hard when either you're making it too hard, or you don't have, or you're not applying and using the tools and skills you have. And that's why it's not as fulfilling and it seems hard. And for me, I'm challenged with knowing exactly what to do, but then I want it already done. Because I know exactly what to do, but now I have to do it, and it might take an hour. And that's challenging for me, because I know what it is. I wish somebody could just get it done, or I could just snap my fingers and do it. But no, I have to go through, and in an hour it will be done. But until I do that, no matter what I do, that's the way it is. So that's what I'm challenged with. And I learned that, hey, look, to actually congratulate myself and say, wow, you researched it, you know exactly what to do. Now it's just a matter of executing it. And sure enough, giving yourself in your schedule, my calendar, enough time. And that's what I do. So that's what I mean by video analysis. And you can do that same video analysis as you are talking with people. If you're sitting there thinking that there aren't social contracts, there are. But you know what? Those contracts are not unchangeable. The only way you can change them and make them better and serve both parties better is through your communication skills. So if you're trying to test someone, and sometimes people do this without even thinking about it, it's just a natural habit, and say, oh yeah, da 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 da, and you say something, and then you say, oh, I was just kidding. Actually, you're actually diminishing the relationship. That is not the communication skills you need to develop, build, and grow a trusting meaningful relationship. And so if you want those relationships, and I keep hearing about people saying relationships, meaningful relationships, trusting relationships are the key. And I don't disagree with that. However, to get those, you need to work on your communication skills. That's what I have for you today on Tuesday's Facebook Live. So be congruent and work on those communication skills. And let me know, what does the video analysis show you? And I tell you what, in an hour, if you do that and you tell me where you want to get better, where you want to improve, and where you're having problems, in 1 hour, after I prepare and review what it is that your situation is, your private situation is, I can make you a better communicator and experience intelligent breakthroughs in 1 hour of private mental performance and life coaching. Have a great evening this evening. I hope you have some meaningful triggers set. I know one for me is I have a meaningful trigger in having a conversation with my family. We're going to have some fun tonight. And then, of course, in the evening, I haven't looked at the schedule, there's an NBA playoff game. So have a great evening, set that meaningful trigger, and I look forward to talking with you. Contact me to help you, and we can decide together what the best steps are for you.